Caitlin Clark continues to be a voice of normalcy in a sea of insanity. One thing that's been impressive is how well she has handled everything. And she may have taken the temperature down just a bit by addressing this whole, I don't know, do you call it a snub from the women's basketball roster for Team USA? Clark was made available to the media at Indiana Fever practice and basically discussed this entire situation as it pertains to the discourse and everything that's happened over the last couple days. And here is what Caitlin had to say. This courtesy of Scott Agnes is where I got it from.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
I'm looking forward to a break, from Olympic action. Basketball in general, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
She's such a pro, the way she handles all that. I mean, really exemplary as far as not, taking any shots, not letting herself look nonplussed, any of those things. Number one, she gave credit to the team itself, and it is full of really talented women. And that's one of the things that I've hoped has happened is people understand just how good the rest of the league is, as Caitlin Clark has been this match and this catalyst. She also said she wasn't the only one who didn't make the team, which is a level of recognition and awareness. She talked about taking the break for her body, but also working on her game. And she hasn't really had those chances to work on her game. And I think adding a floater, I've said that a bunch, could take her game to yet another level. But the one part of that stood out to me is when she said it's extra motivation. It's a level of motivation. And that's the competitor in her. That's the competitor in her. You heard it. She made it, she said it nicely, but it's extra motivation. She felt a way about it. She's not going to let everybody see it, but she felt a way about it, and she's going to channel it in the right direction. She's not going to make headlines herself. Now, her coach may have made some headlines for her based on that sentiment. I was just talking about that motivation that Clark is now facing, because Christy Sides is now harnessing. The head coach of the Indiana Fever also talked at practice. And this is Chloe Peterson's account here covering the team. And this is what Sides had to say.
The elephant in the room is the Team USA roster. Caitlin's not on it. What was your reaction when you saw that list come out yesterday?
Yeah, a little disappointed, of course. She's my player. That's the hardest team in the world to make, right? That is a tough team. She's young. She's going to have so many opportunities in the future.
How did you coach her up through that, or did you talk to her at all through that to make it more of a motivating factor than anything?
Yeah, we talked actually on the bus. She got the call on the bus, and she texted me to let me know. And, I just tried to keep her spirits. I mean, the thing she said was, "Hey, Coach, they woke a monster," which I thought was awesome.
Is there any silver lining? And, she'll get a little bit of rest. She'll be able to work on some things in that 3-week break.
Yeah, I think that is the silver lining. She is going to get some rest.
And she's going to play better as a result of that rest. But I promise you're going to see a lot of graphic quote boards saying they woke a monster. Hey, coach, they woke a monster. So Christy Sides provided the headlines Caitlin Clark was probably trying to avoid. As much hysteria as there's been around the topic, Caitlin just cool. Cool is the other side of the pillow, as the late, great Stuart Scott used to say. But that woke a monster, it does get into what I was saying about the motivation. And you could tell Clark, she said that purposely. It wasn't inflammatory. It wasn't anything, to go crazy about. But she said, I'm going to use it as motivation because I'm going to show them. And she will be on the team in the future. And a lot of these other rookies that I've been talking about, Angel Reese and Cameron Brink and Aaliyah Edwards, they're going to be on the team in the future as we move toward a new era of women's basketball. The women's basketball we're moving towards now, that new era. But Caitlin is going to play better. She's already played very, very well, all things considered. Hitting benchmark no one has ever hit before, facing unprecedented defensive attention and all that. She's going to play better. It's not a coincidence she played as well as she did against the Mystics after some time off. Hit those 7 threes, made some great passes, kept her dribble alive in the lane. She keeps her dribble alive in the lane like Steve Nash. She throws the ball up ahead like Jason Kidd, and she shoots the rock like Steph Curry. Those are the players she reminds me of the most. And I apologize because my frame of reference is from the NBA, growing up watching the NBA. And now all of a sudden I'm hyper-focused on the WNBA and women's basketball. But beyond just that game, the rest of the season going forward, I think we'll see a much improved version of Caitlin Clark as some of that defensive attention comes down, that motivation for other teams comes down. It can't last forever, as she has fresh legs, as the team has more practice time together, as the team plays an easier schedule from an opposition standpoint, because they've already played some of the best teams in the league, some of them more than once, and their schedule will have more and more breaks going forward because they played such a front-loaded schedule, not to mention Clark has put up the numbers she has with that as part of the context. And if she does indeed get a chance to work on it, I think it's going to take a lot of time to, really polish that stuff off. But I noticed it against the Mystics. She started thinking about taking the floater and she threw it up once. And she started thinking about, she took a little fall away. She drew a foul with a half floater at one point in the game. If she can get comfortable and confident just putting that up, that adds a whole new dimension to her game. But one thing you're not going to do is catch Caitlin Clark slipping. She's going to handle the media and all this attention and everything in a great way. And I thought that was a great answer. And I think it may have brought the noise down, or it may bring the noise down just a little bit.